Welcome to Noble Theory Podcast. Today, we're doing something a little different. Scott, can you tell us about it?
Yes, listen, the country is reeling from the Charlie Kirk situation. Everybody is reflecting on the profound sadness and what's happened and why, and a lot of curiosity and a lot of questions still asked and unanswered about exactly what happened and how this assassin. Um, Killed Charlie Kirk, tragically killed Charlie Kirk. So, in the middle of all that, Jeff and I have spent a little bit of time, more than a little bit of time, looking at some of the coverage and finding particularly interesting analysis of some of what's happened or what's supposedly has happened. One of the more interesting analysis is from Paramount Tactical, and this analysis.
They've got a YouTube channel.
It's a YouTube channel and enjoys a good bit of success. And the gentleman seems obviously articulate. He seems intelligent and informed and passionate about his beliefs. But as Jeff and I studied it and looked at his very recent analysis of the incident, it seems that there are some glaring problems with his analysis, and we want to try to offer some counter analysis respectfully as just well-read lay people, not experts, about why it seems pretty obvious to us and pretty deliberate that there's something amiss with this analysis particularly from this particular person.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and give you a quick summary of what he's arguing. So, the guy from Paramount Tactical is arguing that Charlie Kirk was wearing a body armor of some sort. And this body armor is what received the initial bullet, that the bullet hit the body armor first. And then the body armor caused the bullet to ricochet off the armor and then go up and pierce him through his neck, but that it never leaves his body. That's essentially the argument. The body armor absorbs a lot of the energy, forces the ricochet, bullet goes up into his neck.
Which Jeff, right there for a second, that initially you think to yourself, wait, there's no exit wound, and obviously that high-powered rifle, it would go through.
It has a ring of plausibility
Thank
based
you.
on the very grainy, the very low resolution, the very slow film that we saw. Scott, what can you tell us about film speed and the nature of projectiles, fast-moving objects?
Well,
And
I've worked quite a bit in film, and it's interesting. I'm certainly not wouldn't be the only one to be able to make this sort of quick analysis of it. But obviously, this you get into film rate and frame rate. The frame rate, the bottom line and the takeaway, Jeff, and we can work backwards from this. But the bottom line is the film speed, for lack of a better word, would never be able to and cannot see or track the bullet. The bullet's moving so fast 2,100, 2,200 feet per second, that in essence the bullet would have entered the frame of the shot and done the damage it did between frames. It couldn't the camera couldn't catch. It couldn't capture the image because the bullet's moving so fast that it happens between the flutter of the film. And
so
so
even if you're capturing pretty high speed, 60 frames a second, if the projectile, and this is a 30-06 projectile, and the bullet's traveling probably at 200 yards at that point, the maximal distance before impact, at about 2,100, 2,200 feet per second, it's moving so fast that it would have gone through him and out before you even saw the frame refresh.
Right, and this is part of the problem is that they're using video analysis to sort of to analyze the entry of the wound appearing, and it doesn't really work because it happens so fast that there isn't much in the film except the aftermath.
Scott, let's go ahead and take a look at some of Paramount Tactical's video, and then we'll offer some additional video enhancement to sort of compare. Okay?
Sure.
So I'm going to share this with everybody this moment, and I'm going to start the playback right here. This is the guy from Paramount Tactical.
FDR right here. He's talking. This is just moments before any shots are fired. And one of the things that you couldn't tell, or I couldn't tell from the initial video, is the fact that he is clearly wearing body armor. I want you to look at this outline. Without a doubt, he is wearing body armor.
Okay, so the guy from Tactical, from Paramount Tactical, says, Charlie Kirk is clearly wearing body armor. The outline that he talked about, we could roll it back for a second here. This outline is a clear indication of some body armor being worn. But now let's go ahead and take a look at what that image looked like with high quality still photography. Let's blow into it a little bit. This is
You can go even tighter, Jeff. You can go even tighter a little bit.
okay, let's do that.
Good.
Okay, so this is still photography, high resolution, so much higher resolution than any camera.
Right?
This is digital resolution. So what you see here is a kind of a line, a crease or a line, and a fold in the cloth. But what he doesn't really recognize is that Charlie Kirk is wearing a lav. And a lav is a recording device used for filmmakers. I have lavs here on this set. We have not used them, but we could use them, right? Tell us about a lav.
So I'm so sorry, Jeff. I was just going to say, yeah, a lav obviously is short for lavalier mic. It's a type of microphone, and I think what's going on, it's pretty clear that's a lavalier mic, which is often worn obviously in movie making and news shows, and it's a smaller, more sensitive mic that a lot of times is hidden, especially in movies. So that you don't know that the actor's wearing a microphone. In this instance, it's pretty clear to me that he's wearing a lav microphone. The lav microphone is under his shirt. It's small and it's compact. That black line we're looking at, I would assume pretty safely, is a magnet or something or some kind of something that's holding the mic close to his throat so that we get good, clear audio. Now, people are going to say, why is he wearing a lavalier mic and holding a microphone? That's real simple. The microphone he's holding is for the PA systems. He's there in front of 3,000 people. It's a public forum. And so
they need to tie into the massive set of speakers that they have there so all 3,000 people could hear.
That's right. So he's got that microphone that he's holding that we're looking at there in his hand is obviously tied to what we call the the soundboard that somebody at the local event said, hey, Charlie, talk into this microphone. It'll still go through the PA. Now, in many instances, quickly, Charlie's team, who was probably or was capturing this video and audio for later use, and
they're going to make YouTube videos. He's got tons of YouTube videos of all of his stops.
So in some instances, his team could say, "Hey, we'll just you trap what's called board sound. So you just take the sound that's running through the board, that's running through that speaker, through that handheld microphone, and through the speaker system, and that's where you're capturing your audio." But Charlie's team probably said, "Look, let's get our own video, let's get our own audio." Otherwise, you're beholden to the sound person at that university to give you that sound file that's from that microphone that he's holding. So you have two microphones for two different purposes. Charlie's capturing his audio for his use and has his own video and audio files. And the PA mic may or may not be being recorded, likely is, but it's somebody else's. It's going to some other source, and it's not something he and his team want to chase down at the end of the event. So that's the reason for this live mic that's clipped on and this PA mic that he's holding.
And we can clearly see that the bulge is happening up here, and there's the line. There's we've seen him wear this on this side of his body, this same shape lav. Go back and look at all other videos. Just do this for your own edification. You can see that he's wearing a lav mic just like this in these other settings. But down here, there is no bulging. There is no additional. This is a pull, probably from the chair he's sitting in. But this is not a bulging out of the shirt like we would see. And this is a T-shirt, by the way. This is a white T-shirt concealing. You'd have to have level 4 body armor to stop a 30-06, right? That's pretty big, heavy-duty armor. And you cannot conceal that so easily beneath a T-shirt, okay? Now let's move on to a different picture that we've got.
I should say real quick, Jeff, my brother was a police officer for a long time and wore body armor, wore Kevlar. And this was a few years ago when the technology wasn't there and the materials weren't quite so light and so versatile. But you really hiding body armor under a t-shirt is not an easy task. I don't think it's doable. You'd see it all over the place. There's big, obviously there's the
And
panels.
honestly, if you could, our entire armed services would be wearing it as standard issue. All police forces would be wearing it as standard issue. If it were so easily manufactured, so easy to do, they would be wearing it.
Sure.
Okay, let's take a look at this picture now. This is about 10 seconds, I think, 12 seconds before he's shot. And so, again, high resolution, still image. This is from the AP. And so we can see that sort of push out from the lav that we were just describing over on this side. And then we've got the freedom running across his chest. And right down here, we see a little, looks like a nipple to me. It looks like his left nipple. His shoulder, you can see it doesn't have any kind of push out or bulging on his shoulder area. That is,
Well, in fact, Jeff, I mean, the shirt over his shoulder there is sitting sort of flush. It's contoured to the shape of his shoulder.
it
Like
looks like a shoulder. It doesn't look
looks
like
like it's
anything bulging
sitting.
out of it.
It
There's no
looks like
vest beneath it.
it looks like the shirt is resting on his shoulder. I would agree.
Right. So we've got one more. Now, this is from Salt Lake City Tribune. Their photographer took this picture. This is so over on this side is where he's sitting a few minutes later. He's standing here and he was casting out MAGA hats to the audience, various different hats, and engaging with the audience. This was about 90 seconds, 2 minutes before the shooting. He's standing here. Now, I think it's really important to take a look at, we see this nipple again, right there. And guess what? We see a symmetric nipple on the other side of his body. Can you see that, Scott?
No, no nipples on body armor, Jeff. I don't think you'd see
Now,
nipples.
right below the D, we see the cross that he's known to wear.
Yep.
We see the chain up here, and we see the chain continue beneath his shirt, pressed up against, his chest, and down to his cross right there and up. Okay? So we've got nipples one, nipple two, a cross, and the chain, and we can all easily visibly see that. Now, this is about 90 seconds to 2 minutes before the shooting. He didn't have time to go and change out somewhere and put body armor on and run back out. Moreover, we see from this previous image that we could see the nipple that we just saw there, right there. So
This is just seconds before.
this is seconds. This is 10, 12 seconds before the impact. So
Yeah.
you clearly see nipples and the lav as the
Protruding.
actual
Yep.
thing, right? These are the things that you're actually seeing, and to suggest that this is what he just said. Let's play it again.
But anyways, here we are right here. He's talking. This is just moments before any shots are fired. And one of the things that you couldn't tell, or I couldn't tell from the initial video, is the fact that he is clearly wearing body armor. I want you to look at this outline. Without a doubt, he is wearing body armor. Now
So, is there any doubt that he was wearing body armor? I think there's a lot of doubt he was wearing body armor.
Yeah.
In fact, we haven't heard anything from the FBI. We haven't heard anything from the state police, Utah State Police. We have heard nothing from reporting about his wearing body armor. Now, I don't know that if they know something and in the future we're going to learn something and he's wearing some kind of a new cool mystery armor, we'll learn that. And I'll be the first person to say that I got it wrong. But what I can show you and have shown you is you can see his nipples and you can see his chain with his cross and you can see the lav causing that little creased material in the much higher resolution pictures that we have, Scott.
Yeah. Absolutely. Higher resolution. And note, if you, Jeff, if you go to approximately 408 in his video playback, he's making this passionate point about body armor and the effectiveness of it and the wherewithal with wearing it. And there's a jump at it in it. And I don't know what he said that he cut out. But it feels like he said something that ended up not being accurate. And so we'll never know what's on the cutting room floor.
Okay, let's
But
take a look at that, what you're talking about.
yeah, watch this jump at it. It happens quick.
Is because he was so effective.
Oh, maybe I didn't get the right spot.
40, it's 408 or something. So go to 4 minutes, maybe. You got to go back. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Even
Right
when
here.
around this type of body armor at acute angles, this type of body armor does a really good job of absorbing the projectile.
Now, Jeff, it's interesting because he was just talking about this whole thing about this acute angle, and there's this whole theory
Yeah.
that the bullet's
Go ahead,
coming in.
Scott.
Sorry, this whole the bullet's coming in, hits the body armor, and then goes up into his neck, and he's addressing that specific issue, and then there's a jump at it, and you don't know what
He was talking about anymore.
But all of a sudden, that body armor in the edit jumps from one side of the screen to the other, and he
I
cuts.
want you to take a look at the thickness of this plate. Now, keep in mind, this plate would have to be inserted inside of some sort of a harness that held
A vest.
a vest to hold the thing in place, right? Look at the thickness of this. You would see that beneath a t-shirt.
Well, especially the black, but yeah, for sure.
Well, just the thickness. Even if the thing were white.
Really good body armor. Problem with this body armor, as you guys can see, even there's some.
Yeah, there's no way you could describe.
Okay.
Nobody could hide that under a t-shirt.
So then he goes on to talk about this metal armor.
Most importantly, what you guys can
That's
see
still very thick and stiff. You wouldn't see nipples because it would push the shirt out.
Even under something like a t-shirt. And I think this is very.
So he thinks that that's what, he's wearing, right? The problem is that would push forward and you wouldn't be able to see nipples because the material was pushed out.
Well, and more to your point, Jeff, is what he's showing you is just the piece of body armor. The apparatus that goes in is going to cause other things to bulge. You're going to have straps on your shoulder. You're going to have elastic on your arms to hold this thing in place. Obviously, some sort of something around your belly. But when you move, the thing moves in in unnatural ways, and your shirt's gonna. There's no way that his shirt is sitting as contoured to his body if he's wearing something underneath it.
Yeah, I agree. So again, I have nothing against Paramount Tactical. I don't know Paramount Tactical. I'm sure those people
Listen, I thought the thing was cool. I thought it was cool. I just thought it was wrong.
I'm sure those people who follow him regularly enjoy his material. He's got a cool gun, collection behind. I've got books. He's got guns. That's fine. We can each have our own preferences. But with this analysis, I think he's wrong. And I think he's wrong because he was using very low quality images. I don't think he was trying to mislead anybody. I think he was using low quality images, and his familiarity with the shape of body armor led him to have an intuition that this sort of rounded shape, like we saw in the body armor, is what was causing that shape, rather than the fact that the higher resolution images that we clearly saw do not support.
Boy, it really looks clear to us. And the lav mic is a real telling.
This is the high resolution. You see, this is what resolution could do. If you're using, honestly, think about the initial pictures we got of the suspected assassin. He was in this hallway. His face looked like it was melted. And those were really low resolution images. When you see the high resolution images, he has a normal non-melted face. Well, the same thing is true, right? We're looking at the high resolution images and we can see that this is not the same image, doesn't look the same as what Paramount Tactical was just showing us a moment ago.
Yeah, and in addition, I just thought of something else. This is minor, but still something notable, which is the lav. If you're wearing a lav mic and you were wearing certainly that metallic, the problem with lav mics, and this is common in filming and in news, sports coverage, you get the rustle of the clothes. So when you move, the lav mic is as these people gesture and they move around and they're interacting conversationally. The lav mic invariably is moved, and when it rubs against the fabric, the audio guy hears the audio.
Oh yeah, the static.
He hears that that undesirable sound. If you were wearing a body armor, you would have intuitively, your sound person would have clipped your lap to up closer away to your shirt collar to get it off of that plate, which is going to invite this rotating, moving, rustling that you're not looking for in a good, clean audio feed for your trapping your audio. So, anything else, Jeff? What did
That's all we've got. We just hope that the people from Paramount Tactical sort of rethink that. They can go back and say, hey, we've seen some new pictures. Noble Theory podcast has just released some new better pictures, and so we're recanting what we said there. I think that would be the honorable thing to do. Everybody makes mistakes. If later on we learn that he was wearing tactical body armor, I'll be the first person to come out here and say, "Hey, we got it wrong."
You can tune in for our personal apology because
We'll that's right,
we'll
and
be
we
the
will
first to
though.
admit it.
We
I'm
will.
serious. I'm totally
We
serious.
believe that. We
Yeah,
believe that.
and
Hey,
I think the guy show's cool, and he looks like he knows what he's talking about, and I'm sure he does in many instances, most instances, and certainly when it comes to body armor, it's something he seems to be familiar with. He had several samples, but somehow his theory is that Charlie was wearing body armor, and our theory is that he wasn't.
right. We both agree on that, and I think many others too. Okay, well, thank you for joining us on this sort of new format for this special edition, and we hope to see you next week for some new content. Please like and subscribe. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jeff. See you,
Thank
buddy.
you. Hey.